Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, darlings and deviants. My name is Lucy, and I'm just a little loony, and it's time to go fast. It's time to go really fast. Today we're going to be opening up a box of Aetherdrift, and then doing the whole thing where we edit and build our Progmander deck from there. There's a couple of special things about this set that make it a bit more exciting. For one, there's a little surprise that I'll start if you don't know about it. We'll get it when we open up the box. But mostly there's a lot of 3-color synergies here, a lot of solid 2-color cards. There's a lot of vehicles, but a lot of cool things there's a lot of artifacts. There's a little bit more things that ramp us up. So it can probably, it'll help us fill out our deck a little bit and make it a bit more playable. And also, the special guests are really cool, though I have some thoughts about them that I will go into if we encounter that. So, let's get right on into it. Let me pull up the box thing here. Let me get our handy-dandy box of magic cards. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. Let's put it best. There's a little bit of lag on the camera for some reason, and I don't know how to fix it. If anybody is in chat and knows how to fix it, let me know. But as it stands, I just have to kind of deal with it. Hopefully it won't impact things too much, and I think it's fine on my end, so I don't think it's streaming. I think it's this thing. But it came up while I was preparing for the stream, so I have no idea how to fix it. So let's just get right on into it. Open this up and go for it. Let's see what we got. Backs. So the first special thing about this, there are less packs here, but there's a couple things to compensate for it. For one, we have this fancy smashy box topper. This has 2 cards in it, but only one's a real card. One is a basic land that kind of sucks, but the other is a rare gold bordered, like gold border, but it's legal to be played. I think it's called first, like a finish line rarity. It's really fancy, and it can be any rare in the set, but it can also be the special guests. So it could have a Mox in it. It could have one of the cool legends from the set, or it could just have a random rare that kind of sucks. But we will save that for the end, actually. I'll put that off to the side. For now, we have, I believe it's 30 packs of Aetherdrift, I think is how many there are. Because they reduce the number of packs, but they also reduce the price, so, Let's see. These packs are about even, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, yep, 30 packs. Let's get right on into it. We were looking, based on what we pulled in Innistrad Remastered, we're definitely looking for, Mimeoplasm. He's really neat. We're also looking for, I think we would be looking for, like, Brain, please work. We're kind of looking for stuff like loot would be really nice to pick up. Any of the 2-color legendaries is nice. Oddly enough, we don't want, like, I want to pull Chandra, as many Chandras as possible, but Chandra is not really super great as a planeswalker for our purposes. So that would be a little bit awkward to pick up. Aether Spark would be really interesting. Other than that, I can't think of it. So let's just get right on into opening up these packs. Zombies would also be nice because we have Gisa and Geralt for zombies. Let's see, how are these collated? Okay, the commons are in the back. We got a Swiftwing Assailant, 3 and a white for a 3/3 Bird Warrior. Let's see, can you all see that? Yeah. For warrior, gets +0. It's a 3/3 with flying with start your engines, which means you get a speed, and if your opponent loses life, you get more speed. Max speed, this creature gets +0, +1, and has vigilance. It's fine. It's just a limited card. Next up, we have Trip Up, 3 and a blue. Target non-land permanent's owner puts on their choice at the top or bottom of their library. This is a classic blue removal spell, but cycling for 2 makes it really valuable. Any of the cards with cycling in this set are somewhat valuable here because there's a lot of synergies with Innistrad Remastered where you want cards in the graveyard. So that could help us with our decks. Next, we got a Burner Rocket. 1 red for a 3/1 flash. When this vehicle enters, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn. Just a fine ability. Spot Cycle Scouter, 1 and a white for a 3/2. When this vehicle enters, you scry 2, crew 1. Fine card. Mutant Surveyor, 2 and a black. We're seeing mutants in like an actual set since Fallout, I think, is the last time we saw it. So having it here is really interesting. 2 and a black for a 2/3 Mutant Scout. Start your engines. Just 2 generic mana to give it +1/+1. But if you are at max speed, you do get to exile this card from your graveyard and draw a card, which is not super great, but it gives it like, this comes into play, you start your engines, and then you have something to do with it later on if it dies. Next up, we got Run Over. It's a good removal spell. 1 green. For an instant, the spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a mount or a vehicle you control. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Solid. If we do have enough mounts and vehicles, it might work, but also it's just kind of a fight spell, which is fine. We're playing a lot worse spells in the Tauren's deck, so. Dynamite Diver, 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Pilot. Saddles, mounts, and crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. And when it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Strictly better Goblin Arsonist. I don't know if it's that playable in Commander, but hey. Malt Tinder. It's our first uncommon. 1 green for a 1/1 Insect Druid. Tap to mill a card and tap to exile a card from your graveyard at 1 mana of any color. They might have shaved off 1 ability from Deathrite Shaman, but that's still pretty good. 2 abilities for 1 mana on a 1/1. Very solid. And it's mana ramp, kinda, technically. Next we have Gastel Thrillseeker, 1 black red for a 2/3 Lizard Berserker, good for standard for lizards. Start your engines. When it enters, it deals 1 damage to target opponent and you gain 1 life. This is really cool because it means by default on its own, it is starting your engines on, like, you're going up to 2 speed, which is very nice. And at max speed, it has Death Touch and Haste, which the haste part probably won't matter too much, but in the later game, if you draw this and you're already at max speed, it's very fast. Next up is the Blue Shell. This card is so good. 4 and a blue for a 4/4 Robot Turtle. When it enters, return target creature or vehicle an opponent controls to its owner's hand. If that opponent's speed is greater than each other player's speed, reduce that opponent's speed by 1. This effect can't reduce their speed below 1. Very good card. It literally won me a game last night. I was at 1 life, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly how the designers intended it. You're at 1 life, you bounce their creature, you reduce their speed. Cinema. Next up is Embalmed Ascendant. 1 white black for a 1/2 zombie. Also would start your engines. There's going to be a lot of cards with that in case you were wondering. When it enters, you make a 2/2 zombie. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is a bit unfortunate for what we're doing here. A big issue is like a lot of the zombies that we have from Innistrad Remastered are blue and black, and all the Esper zombie stuff that they added are all in the Commander product, which we can't open up in the regular set. And there's not a lot of 3-color legendaries, but I don't think one's Esper. I don't think. But regardless, it's a very solid card though. If we can manage to play it, I think we should. Our we have another card, so we do have a foil, but our rare is Winter. I don't like Winter, but it is a blue-black card. It's a 3/2 human warlock with ward, pay 2 life. Artifacts you control have ward, pay 2 life. And exhaust for 2 black and a blue, tap, exile X artifact card from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. Artifact creatures are very good. Winter might be solid. Who knows? We'll see. we'll see what we have after that. We have 2 more cards. Roadside Assistance is our foil. It's 2 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature or vehicle. It gets +1/+1 and it has lifelink. When it enters, you make a little pilot token. It's the 1/1 colorless that can crew mounts and crew vehicles and mount mounts as though its power was 2 greater. So as if it was 3. And land. Ooh, a Dismal Backwater. This is another reason these are good. This set is good because it gives us a lot of non-basic lands to work with so that we're not just playing a bunch of basics and Evolving Wilds. And an art card. Not a bad first pack, though I would prefer more rares. More rares is nice. Let's see, we got... Bam! We got Brightfield Mustang, 3 and a white for a 3/3 horse mount. Whenever it attacks while saddled, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. This card's very good. Like, in limited, it can just get out of hand. Although, Lightning Strike is in the format, and that's something you really need to consider. So, if you're playing that, you kind of want to make sure that you saddle it up as soon as possible. Glitch Ghost Surveyor, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 with flying. Winddrake is always good. Starts your engines, and you can exile it from your graveyard to draw a card. Same thing as the Mutant Surveyor. I think that's just a cycle, the Surveyors. It's fine. Windrakes are not bad. Starting your engines early, not bad. But you really need to be wanting to do that in limited to do that. And I don't think we play it unless we have something that can consistently start our engines, like a Commander, for instance. Next up is Goblin Surveyor. 2 and a red for a 3/2 trample. Start your engines, exile from graveyard. The same thing as the other ones. Streaking Oil Gorger for, what you call me? 4 and a black for a 3/3 with flying and haste. That in and of itself is just fine. It also starts your engines, and it has lifelink if you're at max speed. Not bad. Next up is Loxodon Surveyor, 2 and a green for a 3/3 Elephant Scout with start your engines. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We got all the scouts. Let's see. We didn't get the white. We don't have the white one yet. Light Wheel Enhancements, 1 white for an enchantment. Enchant creature or a vehicle. Starts your engines. Has +1/+1 and has vigilance. And at max speed, you can cast this card from your graveyard. That's not that bad. Just being able to cast it with no downside if you're at max speed, that's playable. Like, you really don't want to play these in limited because their benefit is so minor, and if it gets removed in response, you're losing a lot of value. But being able to cast it from your graveyard, it's kind of like drawing a card each time you cast it from your graveyard. So it's not that bad. Next up is a Vishkar Raceway. The Raceways I feel are really good. We're definitely probably going to be playing these throughout the entire year. Start your engines, land, taps to add colorless. But if you're at max speed, you can pay 3 to tap and discard a card to draw a card. Looting is always solid. Locust Spray, 1 black. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, but it has cycling for a black. It's not super great. It's probably fine and limited just having that ability to pay 1 to cycle it, but you really want to have the extra benefits to cycling. Otherwise, it's just kind of dead in your hand, honestly. Spire Mech Cycle, 4 and a red for a 5/4 with haste. It's a vehicle, so it's not a creature. But it has exhaust, tap another untapped mount or vehicle you control, and it becomes a thing. So basically anything can crew it once. Wait, actually, hold on. Tap another untapped mount or vehicle. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. On it for each mount and or vehicle you control other than this. Oh, this thing is huge, actually. Because it becomes an artifact creature, period. It's not like crew where it lasts until the end of turn. This lasts forever. And that is very solid. It is 5 mana though. That's a lot to ask for. But if you have a decent amount of mounts or vehicles, pretty solid. Next up is Diversion Unit. Also a very solid card. 1 blue for a 2/1 robot with flying. You can pay a blue to sacrifice it to counter an instant sorcery spell and this controller pays 3. In the early game, it's a very good, just a 2/1 flyer, can help get your speed up to 4 as soon as possible. But also, it helps negate removal spells. Technically, it mana leaks them, but you know. If somebody is trying to target something, it removes it. Pretty solid. Next up is Canyon Vaulter, 1 white for a 3/1 core pilot, the core. Whenever this creature saddles a mount or crews a vehicle during your main phase, that mount or vehicle gains flying until end of turn. Giving something like the Spire Mech Cycle flying does not seem bad. Our first rare? No, just our rare, is Web Strike Elite. 2 green for a 3/3 with Insect Archer with Reach and Cycling X green. Whenever you cycle this card, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment with mana value X. Exactly X, by the way. You can't overpay for it for whatever reason, but you do have to you do have to snipe it, which is kind of in flavor, but it's fine. Our foil is another light wheel enhancements, and our land is a mountain. And we got a pilot treasure token. Moving on. Boop. We got Prow Catcher Specialist, 1 red for a 2/1 Goblin Warrior, and our one of the first instances of exhaust, but it's for the people who care about the exhaust abilities. 3 and a red, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. You may do it once. It's fine. It's a limited card. Light Shield Parry, 1 white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. But it's got cycling for 2. So, at minimum, it's always an extra card. Spectral Interference, 1 and a blue. Counter target artifact or creature spell unless its controller pays 4. Very solid removal spell. 4 is a lot. But only hitting artifacts or creatures is kind of meh. You really want your counter spells to be able to hit a 3rd thing, ideally. But there's a lot of artifacts and creatures, especially in Commander. Next up is Gastel Blockbuster. 2 and a red for a 3/2 Human Berserker. Whenever it enters, you may sacrifice a creature or a vehicle and then destroy any artifact. Not that bad. Ripclaw Wrangler, 3 and a black for a 4/3 vehicle. Whenever it enters, each opponent discards a card and it crews for 2. Not bad. Discard, making 1 person discard a card, it's fine. Might be good for winter, though. Migrating Ketrodon, 4 green for a 6/6 dinosaur with reach. Whenever it enters, you gain 4 life, and it has cycling for 2. Not bad. Lotus Guard Disciple, 2 and a white for a 2/2 with flying. Whenever it enters, target creature or vehicle gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. No one dies on my watch, says the Lotus Guard veteran Sectem. I wonder if the Radiant Lotus is because that's one of the big cards in this set. I wonder if that's I wonder if it's from Amonkhet. I think it might be. Next up is Pace Setter Paragon, 2 and a red for a 2/3 human pilot. It has an exhaust ability for 2 and a red to put a +1 counter on it, and it gains double strike only until end of turn, though. I think I might know why the thing is lagging, actually. Let's see if I can fix that while I'm midway through the stream and no one is actually watching. Oh, that's unplugged. Okay, so it's probably not that. Okay, next is Fang Druid Summoner, 3 and a green for a 2/4 Ape Druid. Whenever it enters, you may search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with no abilities, reveal it and put it to your hand. That's not bad. Basically, tutoring for something with no abilities is kind of meh, but there's a lot of cool legends in this set that have no abilities that have really big stat lines. And 4 mana, 2/4 that draws a card. Not that bad. I don't think we have anything from Innistrad Remastered that has no abilities. Most things had abilities in that set, but not bad. Gallant Strike is 1 white for an instant. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Cycles for 2. Very good card. Haunted Hellrite is 1 blue-black for a 3/3 artifact vehicle. Whenever you attack, target creature I control gets +1/+0 and gains death touch until end of turn, and you untap it. Very solid limited card for Commander. Let's actually, I wonder if YouTube is going to have the stuff, because I don't know if I can actually connect to it here. I wonder if it says I'm live on here. I need to make sure that it's working properly. It says I am. And the connection is excellent, so it definitely is something to do with this camera. Next up is Sky Seer's Chariot. That's our rare for this pack. 1 white for a 3/3. When it enters, choose a non-land card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name. Costs 2 more to activate. Cruise for 2, and it flies. Not bad, not bad. And Pact All Terrors are foil. 3 black for a 3/4. Whenever it enters or another artifact you control enters, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Solid. And a Thornwood Falls. Taps blue or green and enters tapped. Not ideal, but hey, sometimes you gotta deal with that. Next up, we've got more packs. Gilded Goda, 1 red for a 2/2. Whenever it attacks while saddled, you make a treasure token. Saddles for 1. Not bad. Lean In Surveyor, 1 white for a 2/2 with Start Your Engines. Oh, it's the Surveyor. It's the White Surveyor, and it's during your turn it has First Strike. This is probably really solid. Just having First Strike is very good. Next up is Nimble Thopterus, 3 blue for a 3/2. Whenever it enters, you make a 1/1 Thopter. Vidalcan Artificer, A-OK. Stampeding Scurryfoot's up next, green for a 1/1. Creature Mouse, Exhaust, 3 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and make a 3/3 Elephant Creature token. Very solid. In the early game, it's just a 1/1 cruise things. Get the mouse into the machine. But in the late game, mid-game rather, you can make a 3/3 elephant, and it's bigger than that. Very good. Grim Javelineers, 2 and a black for a 3/2 human warrior. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When that creature dies this turn, you surveil 1. Makes it very unappealing to block. And same thing with the Haunted Hellraid, it's a very similar vibe. They really want to make it to where when you attack through, your opponent either has to give up a lot to block, or they're just not going to be able to. Hi, Drewby. Hello. Afternoon, afternoon. Next up is Veloheart Bike, 2 and a green for a 4/2. Whenever it enters, you gain 2 life. And it taps to add 1 mana of any color and cruise for 2. Very good ramp card. Not bad. Next up is Walking Sarcophagus, 2 mana for a zombie cat, 2/1, Start Your Engines. And at max speed, it becomes a 3/3. It's fine. Very, very mid card. Earth Rumblers are first uncommon in this pack. 4 and a green for a 7/6 with Vigilance to Trample, very large lad. Then you can exile an artifact or a creature card and becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Basically, instead of crewing it for 3 like you normally do, you can exile it and get a little bit of a bonus. Except it's back on track. 4 and a black for a sorcery. Return target creature or vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a pilot that crews it for more. A very solid card. Dune Drifter's up next. It's a 3/3. X white black for an artifact vehicle. Whenever it enters, you bring something back that is mana value of X or less. It crews for 2. Very solid. Reanimation's always really solid. But it does get extremely more expensive. But if you're bringing back like a Sky Seer's Chariot or something to crew it with, pretty solid. Speaking of vanilla, we have Kaelorna Coral Tyrant, 1 blue for a 0/8 Octopus. It's legendary. And that's it, there's no more text. For centuries, she grew in her benthic home, safe from Muraganda's moonfalls, feeding on the raw ley lines that run below the water. When she emerged, the coral depths she called home came with her. I guess I'll technically put in the legendary pile, but there's no way that we're like playing it as a legendary. We're not doing that. Next up, our rare is a Bloodghast, black for a 2/1 Vampire Spirit. Can't block, has haste as long as an opponent has 10 life or less. And whenever land comes into play, you may return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very good card. I don't know if we can use it to its fullest extent in this pool, but hey, I would like to see if we could. Our foil is a Brood Heart Engine, black-green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you surveil 1. It's an artifact. You can pay 2 black and a green to sacrifice it to return a creature or a vehicle from your graveyard to the battlefield, but only as a sorcery. Very strong, actually. Reanimation is always good. And, I do really like these full art lands where you're like behind the wheel. Very pretty. Really enjoy that. And our token is a vehicle and a Chandra emblem because she makes these vehicles. So far, nothing, no insane pulls. Nothing that makes your eyes bulge out and go, awooga! Just, you know, some okay rares. Winter, meh. First off, we got Kickoff Celebrations. 1 red for an enchantment. Starts your engines. When we discard a card, you draw 2 cards. It's got Chandra on it. Means I love the card immediately. At max speed, you can sacrifice it to give everything haste. We've had effects like this before, but I think this is the first time that we've had this that just sacrifices it. A lot of other effects like this, you need to pay 1 and sacrifice it to do the thing. So that's not bad. Next up is Voyager Quick Welder. 2 and a white for a Robot Artificer. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and it's a 2/4. Just a very solid cost reducer. Gear Seeker Serpent, 5 blue for a 5/6 with affinity for artifacts. Affinity's back. Let's go. I don't know if this is playing like other big affinity decks, but like, you know, a 2 mana 5/6 is nothing to sneeze at. 5 and a blue. This creature can't be blocked this turn. Pretty good. Ends games. Deathless Pilot, 1 black for a 2/2 zombie pilot. Saddles mount and cruise vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. And you can pay 4 to put it back into your hand. Again, 4 mana to draw a card. Very solid. In limited mostly. We're probably not interested in it in Commander. Next up is Bestow Greatness. 2 and a green for an instant. Target creature gets +4 and gains trample until end of turn. Very big pump spell. Very big pump spell. I don't know if it's quite worth it, though. Next up is Packdoll Terror. We've already seen one of those. Aether Jacket. This card, I think, is like sleeper, going to be really powerful in Limited, but it's a 3 mana, 2/1, Flying and Vigilance. You can pay 2 to sacrifice it to destroy another target artifact. Very good. Being able to attack with Vigilance and being able to just, like, keep that going. Very good. Next up is Wretched Doll, 1 black for a 3/1 toy. Pay 1 and tap it to Surveil 1. It's fine. But Surveil 1, consistently, pretty good. Next up is Rocky Roads, a good land to have. Enters tapped unless you control a mount or a vehicle. But you can pay 1 and a red to tap it to make a 1/1 pilot. Not bad, not bad. Always good to have more non-basics because remember we have a Hermit Druid, so if we can play the Rocky Roads, we can play that in the deck. Next up is Rover Blades, 3 mana for a 2/2 with double strike. Equipped creature also has double strike, and it equips for 4, but it crews for 2. This card it's very wild because it's also it's like a reconfigure card, but it's not. It's a vehicle. And it's rollerblades. It's really interesting. I think we play it because it's just a very solid. It's basically an equipment that gives double strike, but it's very expensive on like all aspects of it. But being able to be a 3 mana 2/2, there's a lot of play to it. Ooh, we got an Earth Rumbler, but this one's fancy. 7/6 Vigilance Trample. We already got one, but you know, fancy art is always good. Lifecraft Engine is our rare here. Equipment. 4/4, 3 mana, artifact vehicle. When it enters, you choose a creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types, and each creature you control of the chosen type other than this vehicle get +1/+1. I don't know what to do with this card. It seems very good, but also it's expensive, and also in this pool of Progmander, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of special stuff like that, but it's really interesting. If we pull something that gives us zombies, then that might be fine. Our foil is a Swiftling Assailant. We got that as the first card we opened, and our land is a Swamp. Got a elephant token and an insect token. Green tokens. Next up, we have Bounce Off. 1 blue mana, return target creature or vehicle to its owner's hand, strictly better unsummoned. Another Gastro Blockbuster. A Daring Mechanic. 2 and a white for a 3/3 Human Artificer. 3 and a white, put a +1/+1 counter on target mount or vehicle. Probably solid in sealed, probably not so much in like draft or constructed or whatever. But this, a lot of people were like, hey, this is Mario, because he's got like a wrench and overwalls. And I'm like, I don't see it. I just think it's like a pit mechanic. I don't think it's Mario. Next up is Midnight Mangler. 1 blue for a 3/3 vehicle. During turns other than yours, this vehicle is an artifact creature. Pretty solid for limited, probably. It's a good blocker. 2 mana, 3/3. Very above curve, honestly. But it not being able to attack, and it's only on the defense, it's fine. Next is Risky Shortcut. 2 and a black. Draw 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life. A very solid draw spell that keeps your engines going because it keeps progressing your speed. Jidbrick Omnivore. 1 green for a 3/2 beast with no abilities. I think this is one of the first vanilla creatures that we've had in a long time. It's just a 3/2 with no abilities. Neat. Another Dynamite Diver. Rocketeer Boost Buggy. 1 green and 1 red for a 3/2 vehicle. Whenever it attacks, you make a treasure token. Cruise for 1. Exhausts 3. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature, and you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, remember, if you have to read a lot of these cards carefully in this set, because a lot of them say become an artifact creature. Does not say until end of turn. They just become an artifact creature. Next is Plow Through. 1 green for a sorcery. Target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. And destroy a vehicle. Or you choose one of those. And in this set, that's probably really fine. You will probably find a vehicle to destroy. Target creature you control fights target creature and opponent controls. Just those 1 mana fights that have a little extra benefit. It's pretty good. Hi to Willpower. Howdy hi. We have Sundial Dawn Tyrant. It's 1 and white for a 3/3 legendary artifact creature. Construct. We follow as it walks at the head of the ever-breaking day. Is it leading the dawn, or does it march to some forgotten celestial order? It does not answer our questions, so faith must sustain us. It's a 2 mana 3/3. I don't know what you want me to tell about it. Spell Pierce, very good card. 1 blue, counter target non-creature spell, unless its controller pays 2. Our rare is Repurposing Bay. 2 and a blue for an artifact. Pay 2 and tap to sacrifice another artifact to search your library for an artifact card with a mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. It's Birthing Pod for artifacts, kinda, asterisk. Not always, but it's pretty solid. Our foil is Clamorous Ironclad. 3 and a red for a 6/3 with Menace. Cruise for 3, and it cycles for 1 red. And a Rugged Highlands for our land. And Nissa, we can't open her in this set, unfortunately. She's a commander-only card, but it would be nice to do so. All right. Brightfield Mustang, we already got one of those. Skylight Optimizer, 1 blue for a robot. Tap blue, but only to cast artifacts or activate an ability. Not quite ramp, but it can be. Prow Catcher Specialist. Beast Rider Vanguard, 1 green for a 2/2 Human Knight. 4 and a red, look at the top 3 cards of your... 4 and a green, rather. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it into your hand, rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's fine. Good card. Kind of draws a card, but... if we're looking to improve Taurens, that's definitely a guy to look out for. Maximum Overdrive! Hiya! 1 black for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains Death Touch and Indestructible until end of turn. Very good. It's a good combat trick. It's not super solid for, like, commander or anything. Alacrian Jaguar, 4 green for a 4/4 with vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it's housed for 1. Very low saddle cost, but also it's like, yeah, it attacks has a 6/6. That's fine. But a 5 mana 4/4 with vigilance, that honestly just wins some games. Next up is a Guidelight Matrix, 2 mana for an artifact. When it enters, you draw a card. Pay 2 and tap. Target mount you control becomes saddled until end of turn, only as a sorcery. And same thing for vehicles, but they become crewed. Basically, being able to make anything just tap 2 mana to crew it seems very solid, and it also replaces itself, which is not bad. But you do need to have a decent amount of mounts and vehicles to make it worth anything. It's definitely going to be good in Malaria decks, honestly, because I think Malaria decks probably do... Like, you can play Malaria vehicles, and that draws you a card and taps for mana. Oh, actually, I want to build Malaria vehicles now. I'll do that after stream. Night Market enters tapped. You choose a color, and it taps to add a mana of the chosen color, and cycles for 3. Just a good land to get what colors you need. Dredger's Insight, 1 green for an enchantment. Whenever one or more artifact and or creature cards leave your graveyard, you gain 1 life. Whenever it enters, you mill 4 cards, and you put an artifact, creature, or land card from among the milled cards into your hand. Again, we have a lot of stuff that can enable a really cool mill deck, a self-mill deck, but we don't have the commander for it. Gastel Raider, 2 black for a 2/1 vampire rogue with Start Your Engines. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an instant or sorcery card from it. That player discards that card. And at max speed, it has menace and +1/+1. Probably really solid. And I think we might play it just because it starts your engines and can get like a ramp spell or something out of somebody's hand. That doesn't seem too bad. Amonkhet Raceway, we got the second Raceway. Start your engines, taps out a colorless, and at max speed, you can give something haste. This one is much better than the Avishkar Raceway, I think. Muruganda one is obviously the best one in 1v1 because it becomes a soul land very quickly. I think Amonkhet Raceway might be a bit better in Commander if you have a Commander with Start Your Engines, but I like all of them, honestly. Our rare is a Boom Mobile, 2 red for a 5/5. When it enters, you add 4 mana of any one color, but only to activate abilities. Then it exhausts for X 2 red, deals X damage to any target, put a +1/+1 counter on this vehicle. Very good card. If you have a lot of activated abilities. If not, it's a 4 mana 5/5 that kind of sucks. Deals 1 damage to something, maybe. We have a foil Dredger's Insight and a basic forest. We're almost a third of the way through the box, and there's nothing super exciting so far. Nothing to, like, explode or anything. I am noticing that we don't have any... I don't know if we opened any last time, but we didn't get any special guest cards. Although I don't think Innistrad Remastered had special guest cards, because it was just special guest ones. But I have looked through the stuff we did last time. I have yet to, on an opening here, not open up a special guest card if one is available. I don't know if there were some in Innistrad in the remastered sets, but there were some in MKM and the all the standard legal sets so far. Special guests were a thing, and I think in every single one of those we opened up one. If we don't open up one here, that would be the first time. Riot's End is 4 and a white for an instant. Exile target creature or vehicle, but it costs 3 less if it targets a tapped permanent. This has just been kind of like a thing that they do, like a bit cheaper if they target a tapped thing. Howler's Heavy, 3 and a blue for a 3/4 Seal Pirate. Seal Pirate, I love some of the tagline, like some of the taglines on this set. Cycles for 1 and a blue, and whenever you cycle it, a creature or vehicle an opponent controls gets -3/-0 until end of turn. You probably want to be doing that if that's what if you're picking this card up for, but a 4 mana 3/4 is playable. Another Clamorous Ironclad, another Packdoll Terror. A Pothole Mole, 2 and a green for a 2/3. Whenever it enters, you mill 3, and you can turn a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Spin out 1 black, destroy target creature or vehicle. Not bad. Another Aether Jacket. Intimidation Tactics, 1 black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or a creature from it and exile that card, and it cycles for 3. Not bad, not bad. Sky Crash, 1 red. Instant. Destroy target artifact, cycles for 1 red. In this set, it's probably fine. No, Paige, you haven't missed any sick opens yet. The coolest thing that we opened was Winter, and everything else is so far kind of mid. We've got like a Lifecraft engine and a repurposing bay, but nothing that makes like... Nothing that I've been like, oh, we got it, whoa! Nothing like super huge about it yet. Pride of the Road, 3 white for a 2/5 zombie cat warrior with vigilance and start your engines. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature or vehicle you control gains double strike until end of turn. That's... Double strike's really good. But again, it's like... There's a lot of vehicle synergies in this set, and we don't have a lot of great vehicles or anything that synergizes with artifacts. Guidelight Pathmaker, 4 and a white and a blue for a 6/5 vehicle. Vigilance, when it enters, you may search your library for an artifact card and reveal it, put it onto the battlefield. If its mana value is 2 or less, otherwise put it into your hand, then shuffle. This is really solid. Lets us tutor for a lot of our artifacts, but we do need to get some cool artifacts and a blue-white legendary. We don't have any of those. Ovaya, Automech Artisan, 3 and a green for a 1/2 human artificer. Each creature that's attacking one of your opponents has trample. Pay 1 in green. You may put a creature or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, put an artifact onto the battlefield this way, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. That's a very good card, but it's not... like, we don't have the support for it, unfortunately. Our foil is a low discard Disciple, and our land is a foil Tranquil Cove. How tranquil. Elvish Piper is not a bad card, but we need a commander that lets us play Elvish Piper. Brightfield Glider, 1 red for a... Not 1 red, 1 white for a 1/1 Possum Mount. Vigilance, whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +1/+2 and gains flying till end of turn. Saddles for 3. 3 is a lot to like handle there, but a 1/1 with Vigilance is not bad. You really want to find a way to get counters on it or like put equipment on it. Keen Buccaneer, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 with Vigilance. 1 in blue, draw a card, then discard a card. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Just a solid ability, and making it a 3/4 with Vigilance is really annoying in this set, honestly. Another Kickoff Celebrations. Silken Strength, 1 green for a flash enchant creature or vehicle. Whenever this aura enters, you untap the enchanted permanent, and the enchanted permanent gets +1/+2 and has reach. Another Streaking Oil Gorger. Another Run Over. Ticket Tortoise, 2 generic for a 3/1 defender. Whenever it enters and if an opponent controls more lands than you, you make a treasure token. It's really interesting how like there's like a needle that's going between like tapped treasure tokens and untapped treasure tokens that they kind of swap between as they choose, really. An Apocalypse Runner, 2 black red for a 6/5 vehicle. Target creature you control with power 2 or less gains lifelink until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. Ooh. Cruise for 3. Again, black-red has a lot of cool cards, but we need to be able to play black and red. The new Gonti is really cool, and obviously the Verges are solid. We would like to pick them up, but like, we need to see. Lagarin, Soul of Alacria, green-white for a beast mount, flying. Whenever it attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts or vehicles. Saddles for 1. At minimum, we do have a card for Taurens, so we might just be upgrading Taurens. Who knows? Detention Chariot, 4 white for a 6/6 artifact vehicle. Whenever it enters, you exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this vehicle leaves the battlefield. Cruise for 3, cycles for 1. 1 white. Scrounging Sky Ray is 1 blue for a 1/2 fish pirate with flying. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. Now this is a cycling payoff. Now this is cycling. Being able to put +1/+1 counters on this creature, I think this card's going to end up being like a first pick and limited very easily. Just a flyer that benefits off of cycling, benefits off of discarding. There's so much that can do. And the keel haulers love to do that sort of thing. Ooh, we got a green-black card. Paige, where are you at? 3/3 Insect Druid. Whenever it enters, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. That's a good card for Hermit Druid. Whenever another insect you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on a chick. Each opponent loses 1 life. And we have the Lifecrafters, Lifecraft engine to make this we can make everything insects. Is it each vehicle or, let's see, vehicle creatures, only the vehicle. Each creature you control of the chosen type, each creature you control of the chosen type other than this vehicle will get +1/+1. Okay, so we could do insects. We do have another option. There is a lot of ways to get extra stuff in the graveyard, and that lets us play spider spawning. Spider spawning is really good. Lets us play black cards. Black cards are good. But Aetherdrift, we have Aetherdrift, and Aetherdrift, I got to play one game with just the Boxing League version of the deck, basically where it's just the Boxing League stuff, and Aetherdrift is a really good Magic card. Ooh, I mean, we got the foil full art. Thundering Broodwagon. 2 black, green for a 6/5 with Menace and Reach. Whenever it enters, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value 4 or less. Cruise for 3. Cycles for 2. That's a really good card. And a swamp. Alright, last pack in the first third. Let's see what we can get here. Gear Seeker Serpent. Prowl Catcher Specialist, Brightfield Mustang, Siphon Fuel, 4 and a black for an instant. Target creature gets -6/-6 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. It's not that great. Migrating Ketrodon, Light Wheel Enhancements, Stall Out, 1 blue, tap target creature or vehicle, then put 3 stun counters on it, and it cycles for 2. Stun counters aren't as great in Commander, but it's fine. Grease Wrench Goblin. 1 red for a 2/1 Goblin Artificer. 2 in a red. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Kill Switch finally had the right wrench for the job. Now she just needed to remember what the job was. I understand. I'm very forgetful. Rise from the Wreck. 2 green for a sorcery, return up to 1 target creature card, up to 1 target mount card, up to 1 target vehicle card, and up to 1 target card with no abilities from your graveyard to your hand. 3 mana, draw 4. That's really good. But having something with no abilities kind of meh. But we do have the little monkey that does it. We have a target for it, but also if it's 3 mana, draw 3, that's fine. Unswerving Sloth, 3 white for a 5/5, saddles for 4. Whenever it attacks while saddled, though, it gains indestructible until end of turn, and it untaps all creatures you control. That doesn't seem that bad. Gives everything that attacks pseudo-vigilance, and untaps all the stuff that it used to saddle it. That seems pretty good. And it basically, you attack with it, but it untaps everything else, and itself. It's basically vigilance. Haunt the Network. 3 blue, black for a sorcery. Choose target opponent. You make 2 1/1 Colostopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Then the chosen player loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control. That's a lot, but there's a lot of artifacts in this set. Far Fortune End Boss. Ooh, love her. 2 black red for a 4/5 human mercenary with start your engines. Whenever you attack, she deals 1 damage to each opponent. And if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, deals that much +1 instead. If we want to go for speed, we'll definitely be playing Far Fortune. But are we playing with speed cards? And is Far Fortune good enough? We'll have to look at our red. And a foil Aether Jacket. And a land. Scoured Barrens. And a zombie elephant. Alright, we're starting in the second third of the box. We've got Bounce Off. Endrider Catalyzer, 1 red for a 3/1 with Start Your Engines. Taps to add 2 red. That's a ramp spell with Far Fortune if we get there. But that's pretty slow. I don't know. Leonin Surveyor. Gear Seeker Serpent. Hazard of the Dunes, 3 and a green for a 4/4 worm with trample and reach. Has an exhaust ability for 6 and a green to put 3+1/+1 counters on it. This one's basically just monstrous, honestly. Mutant Surveyor. Guidelight Matrix, another one of those. Foul Roads is the same thing as the red one, but it's got the roads are foul. End Rider Spike. There's a lot of ones that are hard to say here. End Rider Spike Spitter. 3 and a red for a 3/4 human mercenary with a reach. Starts your engines at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of your library, and you can play it this turn. It's making Far Fortune look very appealing. We'll see. We'll need to pull out the stuff from Innistrad Remastered to see what we have there. Pit Automaton, 2 generic for a 0/4 construct. Defender. Taps to add 2 colorless mana, but spend it only to activate abilities. You can pay 2 to tap when you next activate an exhaust ability this turn. Copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Very good if we're playing a lot of exhaust, but I don't think we'll be doing that. I think that's more of a limited card, honestly. Demonic Junker, 6 and a black for a 4/3 vehicle with affinity for artifacts. Whenever it enters for each player, you destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. If a creature you controlled was destroyed this way, put 2+1/+1 counters on this vehicle. Cruise for 2. Technically, I think it's only if a creature, so you can't. If you manage to give all your opponents a thing, like a thing of yours, and then destroyed them, it doesn't get super big. But being able to destroy 3 creatures is very good. I think that means we're probably definitely switching to black at minimum. The question is, what extra color are we getting? Ooh, we got a Verge. Sunbillow Verge. It's the one that taps for white, but taps for red if you control a mountains or a plains. Very good. We don't have any red-white creatures, so we can't really use it. Tune Up, 3 and a white. Sorcery, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a vehicle, it becomes an artifact creature. Period. Again, you need to really be careful when you read these reanimation cards now, or like even these animation effects in these in this set, because a lot of them just become artifact creatures. They don't stop. They never stop. Don't stop, won't stop. And a mountain, and an art card. I don't think we've opened a mythic yet, which is weird. Keen Buccaneer. Magmakin Artillerist, 2 and a red for a 1/4 elemental pirate. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. Cycles for 1 and a red, and whenever you cycle it, deals 1 damage to each opponent. This card is really, really good for limited. If we play Far Fortune, we're definitely playing this card though, because it basically makes it to where we're always getting speed up. Sky Serpent Seeker. I don't know what that card is. I'll need to see. I don't think we've opened it yet. Daring Mechanic. Got another one of those. Wreckage Wickerfolk. 1 black for a 1/3 scarecrow with flying, and whenever it enters, you surveil 2. That's a good card for the black decks. Loxodon Surveyor. We got one of those. Grim Bauble. It's a bobblehead. Pay 1. It's 1 black for whenever it enters, you make target creature and opponent control get -2/-2. It's kind of like a dead weight, but it's temporarily. I can pay 3 and a black to sacrifice it to surveil 2. Aether Jacket again. Reckless Velocitar. 3 red for a 3/3 Minotaur Pilot. Whenever this creature saddles a mount or cruise a vehicle during your main phase, that mount or vehicle gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Giving trample, very good with a lot of these random pilots and stuff running around. Defend the Rider, 1 green for an instant. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, or you make a pilot. Very good card. Reef Roads. The Roads of Reef. No, I keep getting this card, but I want the horny version. It's 2 black for Cursed Cloth Wrappings. Artifact zombies you control get +1/+1. Zombie synergies. Tap target creature card in your graveyard gains Embalm until end of turn. The Embalm cost is equal to its mana cost. Very good card. Still not the horny version. I have opened up several ones of this. I've opened up a lot of packs of this set. Haven't gotten the fancy one. I really want that one. It's very pretty women. Pretty women. Next card is... Ooh, no, it's blue-black. No! Oil Deep Gear Hulk. It's blue, black for a 4/4 construct with lifelink in Ward 1. Whenever this creature enters, look at the target player's hand. You may choose a card from that hand. If you do, target player discards that card, then draws a card. We don't have blue-black. No. Ah! Why is that the first mythic? Engine Rat. 1 black for a 1/1 zombie rat with death touch. 5 and a black. Each opponent loses 1 life. Solid effect. And a swamp. Pretty women. You are not immune to beautiful women. I'm definitely not. Nimblethopterist, another one of those. Pedal to the Metal. X and a red for an instant. Target creature gains plus X plus O and gains first strike until end of turn. I don't know if I put this card into Feather or not, because, like, it is a 1 red buff spell that, like, it's technically a fireball that I can put back into my hand. But I don't know if that's good enough when there's a lot of things that you buff and draw cards. I don't know. Voyager Quick Welder. Beast Rider Vanguard. Streaking Oil Gorger, what'd you call me? Venom Sack Lagak. 1 green for a 2/1 lizard mount with death touch. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +0/+3 until end of turn. Saddles for 2. Good card. Basically is gonna always survive, but like, meh. Wreck Remover, 4 generic for a 3/4 construct. Whenever it enters or attacks, you exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. You gain 1 life, cycles for 2. Probably not what we're going to be looking for, because we want to put stuff in the graveyard from what it looks like. Wild Roads. It's a green, makes a pilot. It's just fine. Carrion Cruiser. 2 and a black for a 3/2 vehicle. Whenever it enters, you mill 2 cards, then return a creature or vehicle card from your graveyard to your hand and cruise for 1. Huaplay gacking their Venom Sack. For real, for real. Voyage Home. 5 white blue for a sorcery. Affinity for artifacts. You draw 3 cards and you gain 3 life. I don't know if this is good enough for Modern Affinity because it always costs 2 mana, but dang is it close. Basri, Tomorrow's Champion. 1 white for a 2/1 human knight, legendary creature. Pay 1 tap to exert Basri to create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink. He cycles for 2 and white, and whenever you cycle this card, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Very good for cat decks. We don't have a cat deck, so I don't think we'll be using it that much. Oh, okay. Cool card, cool card. Coal Stoke Gear Hulk. 1 black, red for a 5/4 Menace Death Touch. Whenever it enters, put target creature card with mana value 4 or less from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control with a finality counter on it. That creature gains Menace, Death Touch, and Haste. At the beginning of your next end step, you exile that creature. It is probably the worst of the Gear Hulks, but man is it pretty. And we have red-black, so we'll probably end up playing it if we do. Okay, I you said we were Rakdosing. I don't know if we're Rakdosing anymore. Samut the Driving Force. 3 red, green, white for a 4/5 human warrior cleric. First strike, vigilance, and haste. Start your engines. Other tapped creatures you control get +X+O, where X is your speed. Non-creature spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is your speed. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. And she's foil. Ooh. Samut, that's really good. And we got a forest. Ooh, that's gonna... Oh, we're gonna have to make some choices, y'all. That is... Whew. We're gonna have to make some choices. Spectral Interference. Lightning Strike. Oop. 1 red, deals 3 damage to any target. Very good card. Always like to pick up a Lightning Strike. Broadcast Rambler, 4 and a white for a 5/4 vehicle. Whenever it enters, you make a 1/1 Thopter with crew 1. I mean, I don't know, but we got the Gear Hulk. I don't know if it's got to be somewhat. And we got the curse wrap. Like, all of our rares have been like black and blue and like other colors, but somewhat so good. I don't know. Bestow Greatness. Deathless Pilot. Interface Ace. I don't think we've gotten this one yet. 1 white for a 0/4 robot pilot. Saddles mounts and cruise vehicles with its butt rather than its power. Whenever it becomes tapped for the first time each turn, you untap it. Basically, it's crewing and mounting anything, but it's also a blocker. Eh, mamma mia, she's a 3 colors, but she's the wrong colors. Stall out. Thundering Brood Dragon, but this one isn't the fancy one, so who cares? Fuel the Flames. 2 and a red for an instant, deals 2 damage each creature and cycles for 2. Glory Heath Lynx. 1 white for a 2/3 cat mount. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And saddles for 2. Slick Imitator. 1 and a blue for a 1/3 ooze that starts your engines. Max speed, you pay 1, sacrifice the creature. Copy target spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is pretty solid. Market Back Walker. This is a very good card. XX for a 0/0 enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. You can pay 4 to put a counter on it. Whenever it dies, you draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on it. This will be going in every deck we play from here on out. It's just a draws card. Ooh, Foiled Duretti Rocketeer Engineer. 4 red for it is star 5 Goblin Artificer. His power is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Whenever it enters or attacks, you choose an artifact card from your graveyard. You can sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return it to the battlefield. Good card, but probably not what we're looking for. Ooh, Full Art Swamp. We have a lot of options now. We went from having like not a lot of options to too many. Laying in Surveyor, Glitch Ghost Surveyor, Crash and Burn, 3 and a red, instant, destroy target vehicle, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. Solid. Ride's End, Hazard of the Dunes, Grim Javelineer, Skybox Fury, 5 mana for a 4/4 vehicle, flying, crew 2, cycles for 2, meh. Camera Launcher, 3 mana for a 2/2 construct, exhaust for 3, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, create a 1/1 Thopter, it's fine. Dracosaur Auxiliary, 4 red for a 4/4 Dinosaur Dragon Mount. Always love having that set of keywords. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it deals 2 damage to any target, saddles for 3. Not bad, but it's a 6 mana dragon, but it's a 6 mana dragon by that counter, to counter that point. Ooze Patrol! 3 and a green for 2/2. Whenever it enters, you mill 2 cards, and you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. Ooze Patrol, excellent! Aether Siphons, a 1 blue for an artifact, start your engines. You pay 2 to tap to draw a card. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. If you're at max speed, that's fine. But that's a win condition though. Drawing cards like that's really solid. Oh, Redshift Rocketeer Chief, red-green for a 2/3 Goblin Pilot. She's got Vigilance, and you can tap to add X mana of any one color, where X is her power, but you can only spend that mana to activate abilities. Then her Exhaust is a whopping 10 red and a green. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Only once, but like, let's be real, you don't need to do that more than once. Flood the Engine is our foil, 2 blue, enchants a creature or a vehicle. Whenever it enters, tap Enchanted Permanent. The Enchanted Permanent loses all abilities and doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And a forest. We got so many, like, I don't know which one we got to pick up. We'll definitely have to look at what we have from Innistrad Remastered, honestly. That's probably going to be what the determining factor is. Another Kickoff Celebrations, Guidelight Optimizer, Clamorous Ironclad, Alacrian Jaguar, Maximum Overdrive, Dynamite Diver, another Night Market, Autark Mammoth, 4 green for a 5/5 elephant mount. Whenever it enters and whenever it attacks while saddled, you make a 3/3 green elephant creature token and saddles for 5, but I don't think you care. That is very large man. Hellish Hellish Sideswipe, 1 black for a sorcery. You have to sacrifice an artifact or a creature to cast it, but you destroy target artifact or you destroy target creature or vehicle. If the sacrifice permanent was a vehicle, you draw a card. Good card. Stock up, 2 and a blue. Sorcery, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You put 2 of them in your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random in any order. You could choose the order. Typically blue cards that you choose the order. Cloud Spire Captain, 2 white for a 2/3 human pilot. It mounts vehicles. Mounts and vehicles you control get +1/+1, and he saddles them as though he had 4 power. He's the same kind of text as pilots. Oh no! We have choices now! Mimeoplasm, Revered One. X, black, green, blue for a 0/0 ooze. Whenever it enters, exile up to X creature cards from your graveyard. It enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each creature card exiled this way. 2, it becomes a copy of target creature card exiled with it, except it's a 0/0 with this ability. Ooh, baby. That's a good one. That's a good one. And we got the foil rover blades and a rugged highlands. Holy cow. Mimeoplasm, eh? Jeez, that's gonna be a hard choice. Got a Gilded Goda, Voyager Quick Welder, Sky Strength Engineer. I think this is the first time we've seen this one. 1 blue for a 1/3 human pilot. Flying, pay 5, put 2 counters on it. It's fine. Silken Strength, Wreckage Wickerfolk, Walking Sarcophagus, Lotus Guard Disciple, Momentum Breaker, 1 black for an enchantment with Start Your Engines. Whenever it enters, each opponent sacrifices a creature or vehicle of their choice. Each opponent who can't discards a card. 2 and black to sacrifice it, you gain life equal to your speed. So it's probably just going to be 4 life, but like, it could matter. It's basically a Diabolic Edict that... It's just a Diabolic Edict, honestly. Grease Winch Goblin. Racer Scoreboard, 4 generic mana for artifact, Start Your Engines. Whenever it enters, you draw 2 cards and discard a card. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast if you're at max speed. Muruganda, we got all the raceways. Land, Start Your Engines, tap to add a generic, and tap to add a colorless, rather, and at max speed, you tap to add 2 colorless. It's a soul land. We got all the raceways, so we will probably be playing those until the end of time. And Sita Varma, Masked Racer, green-blue for a 2/3 human rogue, with an exhaustibility of X, green-green-blue. Put X +1/+1 counters on her, then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to her power until end of turn. That's a way to end the game. That's kind of a overrun effect, kinda, sorta. A foil Brightfield Mustang, and a foil Swamp. But not the full art Swamp, just normal Swamp. Alright. We have options, but that's a problem because we have a lot of options. In before we open loot, and that makes it even harder. Alright, we got Crash and Burn, Brightfield Glider, Midnight Mangler, Grim Bauble, Broken Wings, 2 and a green, instant destroy target artifact with enchantment or creature with flying. Siphon Fuel, Stall Out, Tyrox, Solrid Tyrant, 1 red for a 4/1 dinosaur warrior. The Avishkari delegation considered their treaties with the Solrid autocracy settled, but that was a crucial misunderstanding. To the autocracy, diplomacy is a matter of power, not paper. Testing the Grand Prix's defenses is merely their way of making a counter-offer. It's technically legendary, so I gotta put it there, but it's just a 4/1, but it could be good. Point the Way. 1 green for an enchantment, Start Your Engines. You can pay 3 and a green to sacrifice an enchantment. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is your speed. You put those cards on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I think this might be one of the better Start Your Engines cards, just because that 4 mana, like if it's 4 mana to get 2 basic lands, that's fine. That's okay. It's fine. Nothing bad about that at all. Cloudspire Coordinator, 1 red and a white for a 3/1 human pilot. Whenever it enters, you scry 2, and you can tap it to create X colorless pilot creature tokens, where X is the number of mounts and/or vehicles that enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Those tokens can they can crew and saddle as though they had 2 power greater. Clamorous Ironclad, but it's the fancy version this time. Valor's Flagship, 4 white for a 7/7 artifact. A legendary artifact vehicle, flying, first strike, lifelink, cruise for 3, cycles for X and 2 white, and whenever you cycle it, you make a bunch of those pilot tokens again. That's a good one. Omnicat Raceway, but foil this time, and a Bloodfell Caves. And a cat token for Basri. Let me know if the music is too loud. I can hear it, but I don't know how loud it is. Pedal to the Metal. Collision Course, I think that's the first time we've seen this one. 1 white for a sorcery. Deals X damage to target creature, where X is the number of permanents you control that are creatures and/or vehicles. Or you just destroy an artifact. Shatter effects are always good. They're fine, but you want modal shatter effects like that. Hole Drifter, we got Hole Drifter. 3 blue for a 3/2 vehicle. Whenever it enters, you draw 2 cards. And it flies. And it cruises for 3. It's fine. Engine Rat. Stampeding Scurryfoot. Starting Column, this is good. We wanted this card. 3 generic for start your engines. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Tap to sacrifice this artifact to draw 2 cards and discard a card if you're at max speed, but more importantly, it's a mana rock. Light Wheel Enhancements. Fang Guardian, 3 green for a 4/2 with flash. Whenever it enters, another target creature or vehicle you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Another Broodheart Engine. Memory Guardian, 4 blue for a 3/4 robot artificer with affinity for artifacts and flying. It's no Thought Monitor, but it's pretty good. Nesting Bot, 1 white for a 1/1 robot, starts your engines. Whenever it dies, you make a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token, and at max speed, it's a 2/1. It's really just a 1 mana start your speed. Count on Luck. Red for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. It's fine. A foil Broken Wings, and a Scoured Barrens. Alright, we're almost to the last third of the box. Flood your engine. Flood the engine, Lightning Strike. Guidelight Optimizer. Chitin Gravestalker, 5 black for a 5/4 Insect Warrior. It's cost 1 to cast for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard, cycles for 2. Very good card. I want to try this out in Pendragon, but I don't know what the best build for it is. It might just be Dragon Throne. Gibrick Omnivore, 1 green, 3/2. This is all it does. The Vishkar Raceway. Ticket Tortoise. Ancient Vendetta, 3 black for a sorcery. Choose a card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards of that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles. If you really don't want to deal with the card, if you saw it in game 1 and you want to get rid of it forever, send it to the Shadow Realm. But that's not a good idea. It does the card's bad. Boosted Sloop. This is me. In a lot of multiplayer games. 1 blue-red for a 3/3 artifact vehicle with menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card, cruise for 1. Very important thing to remember about this card. It's whenever you attack, period. Ever. So, like, it will always trigger. Cloudspire Sky Cycle. 2 red-white for a 2/3 vehicle with flying. Whenever it enters, you distribute 2++1 counters among 1 or 2 other target vehicles and or creatures you control. Cruise for 1. Thopter Fabricator, 2 blue for a 4/4 artifact vehicle. With flying, whenever you draw your second card each turn, you make a 1/1 Callistophter artifact creature token with flying. Cruise for 2. Solid card. Koladin Triumph Caster, red-white for a 2/3 human pilot. Mounts and vehicles you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled. Whenever a vehicle you control enters, it becomes an artifact creature. Very good card. Foil Bounce Off. And a foil Thornwood Falls. Okay, we're in the last third of the pack as the booster wrappers begin to invade upon my privacy. Okay. And right now, We really have to choose between one of the 3 color commanders, I think, just because like they're just too good. But like, it's a hard decision which one. Like, Mimeoplasm is good because we do have, like, we're about to get a lot more non-basic lands, so Hermit Druid becomes a lot better. And that Hermit Druid makes Mimeoplasm insane, and we're getting a lot of self-mill here, and we just had Innistrad Remastered, lets us play a lot of blue and black cards, but Samut's really good, though. But Samut is 6 mana, who knows? Howler's Heavy. Thunder Gunner. Oh, I don't think we've seen this card yet. 4 red for a 4/5 Shark Pirate with Reach. Discards a card to draw a card, but you can only do that as a sorcery and only once each turn. It's fine, but it triggers all your discard effects and stuff. Broadcast Rambler. Risky Shortcut. Pothole Mole. Scrap Compactor, 1 generic for an artifact, 3 generic and tap to deal 3 to the target creature after sacrificing it, or 6 to tap to destroy a target creature or vehicle. Generic removal's fine. Walking Sarcophagos. Sky Scarpent Seeker, green-blue for a 1/1 snake with flying and death touch. Pay 4 to reveal cards from top of your library until you reveal 2 land cards. Put those onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I gotta sneeze. No, the sneeze evaded me, no. But it's a very good card, because it pays 4 mana to ramps twice. Good card. Marauding Mako, 1 red for a 1/1 Shark Pirate Woman. Whenever you discard 1 more cards, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. Same thing as that flyer. But, you know, it is a great pickup for Mimeo. No! Mimeo's just the best one, isn't it? A Marshall's Path Cruiser, 3 generic for a 6/5 artifact vehicle. Whenever it enters your search library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it to your hand, which would be great for what we're doing here, except for the exhaust ability. Swooberg becomes an artifact creature and you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. It's not good. We can't play it because it's all 5 colors. Oh, we got a special guest card and it's Pathbreaker Ibex. 4 green for a 3/3 goat. Whenever this creature attacks, creatures you control gain trample and get +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. And it's a secret lair, special guest, which I think sucks dong. To be more like critical of it, it's like, first off, this is a great card. We're going to play it. This means we play any green card. Like, it doesn't make the choice a lot easier because both of our choices have green in it. And it's really choosing between red, white, and black, blue. But I don't like the secret lair special guests. Because the whole... Let me put this down so I can complain with both my hands. The special thing about special guests is that you get to see what certain cards look like in other universes. Like, you get to see a Swords of Plowshares on Bloomburrow. You get to see what Unholy Heat looks like on Duskmourn. You get to see what a Gamble looks like on Markov Manor. You get to see what Prismatic Vista looks like on Thunder Junction. It's so, like, you get a... It is basically the pinnacle of what Magic is. It's why we get to see reprints on different sets and why we get excited. Like, I want to see what a Verdant Catacombs looks like on, like, let's say Tarkir. Like, we get to, like, we saw what the Flooded Strands and all that look like. What does a Verdant Catacombs look like? What are these other really, like, this is the cool stuff. But with Secret Lair coming in and doing it, not, like, there's one exception, it's the Chandra's Ignition, that looks really great. But all the other ones, like, there's it's not Zombie Master, it's a different one. But it's like a guy pushing, it's like a zombie ice cream man pushing like a ice cream cart. And it's like, that's not at all what's happening here. I think Lord of the Undead was one. That one was fine, but like it's just kind of generic. And this one, Pathbreaker Ibex. I think this art looks lovely. It's fantastic. But it's not on any of the planes. It could be from Muragonda, sure, but you put all this like art into it and I don't know what it looks like. If anyone from Wizards happens upon this, I will be putting this into the survey that they put out when sets come out and ask about it. I'll be real. This is going to be like the one thing I complain about the most, because everything else in the set, like I can kind of like, I'm fine with a lot of the themings here. The jokes are fine. The racing theme is okay. I think people are kind of overblowing it when it sounds like wacky races and all that, but this is the biggest L for me. Like, you have the opportunity to show us what a Pathbreaker Ibex looks like on Muruganda, and it's just secret lair art. If I wanted a secret lair, I would just buy a secret lair. Don't put that in the main set. Anyway, moving on. Voyager Glide Car. 1 white for a 2/3. Whenever it enters, you scry 1. Tap 3 other untapped creatures you control. Until end of turn, becomes an artifact creature and gains flying. Yeah, put a counter on it. It's fine. It'll probably see more play in Constructed than in like Commander and stuff. Foil Skybox Fairy. And a Full Art Island. And Rider Catalyzer. Sky Streak Engineer. Goblin Surveyor. Venom Sac Legak. Ripclaw Wrangler. Wreck Remover. Scrap Compactor. Road Rage, 1 red, instant, deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is 2 plus the number of mounts or vehicles you control. It's fine. We're not like super excited by it. Green Belt Guardian, 1 green for a 2/2, Elf Ranger. 1 green, target creature gains trample until end of turn. 3 green, put 3 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Good card. It being an elf is probably relevant. I don't know what it would see playing, but Another Unswerving Sloth. Ranger's Refueler, 1 blue for a 3/3 vehicle. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you draw a card. You can exhaust for 4. This creature becomes an artifact creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Again, that is permanent. Does not become an uncreature. Afterburner Expert, 2 and a green for a 4/2 Goblin Artificer. Exhaust, 2 green, put 2 counters on this creature. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's probably really solid. Pedal to the Metal in foil. And a Tranquil Cove. Man, everybody stopped watching when I started complaining about Secret Lair art. Oops. Oh well. Spectral Interference. Magmacan Artillerist. Spot Cycle Scouter. Flood the Engine. Bestow Greatness. Siphon Fuel. Camera Launcher. Elvish Refueler, 2 green for a 2/3 Elf Druid. During your turn, as long as you haven't activated an exhaust ability this turn, you may activate exhaust abilities as though they haven't been activated. When in a green, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Very good if you want to be doing mainly, exhaust things. Another Foul Roads. Air Response Unit, 2 white for a 3/3 artifact creature with artifact vehicle with flying and vigilance and crew 1. It's just fine. Flying and vigilance is huge for only having to tap 1 creature, but it's fine. Transit Mage, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human wizard. Whenever it enters, you may search your library for an artifact card with mana value 4 or 5, reveal it, put to your hand, and then shuffle. Very good card. I don't know if we have artifacts that fit that bill. Oh, we do have the Gear Hulk. We have the Gear Hulk. Ooh, we're probably playing this card then. Mu Yanling Wind Rider, 2 blue for a 2/4 human wizard pilot. Whenever it enters, you make a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. She's fine. I really like her. And I think like if we had more vehicles in mono blue, we probably would. And you probably want her for like normal commander, but she's probably not going to do it. Probably not going to make the cut in our sealed kind of commander environment. A foil Silken Strength and a Swiftwater Cliffs. Nimblethopterist, Thunderhead Gunner, Swiftling Assailant, Chitin Gravestalker, Hazard of the Dunes, Engine Rat, Guidelight Matrix, Sheffet Archfiend, 5 black for a 5/5 demon. Whenever it enters, all other creatures get -2/2 until end of turn. Cycles for 2. I don't know if this is a reprint or not. I know the art isn't, and the art is wonderful. God Machine did a great work here. But I don't know if this is a reprint or not. I feel like it was. I remember playing this. Like, I remember playing something equivalent to this in Amonkhet Limited, but I don't remember where I played it. Boom Scholar, 1 red-green for a 3/3 Goblin Advisor. Exhaust abilities of other permanents you control cost 2 less to activate, and exhaust for 4 red-green. Creatures and vehicles you control gain trample till end of turn. You put 2 counters on this creature. Exhaust. Country roads, take me home. We got the full set of cards. Sabotage strategist. 2/2 blue for a 2/2. Vidalcan Ranger with Flying and Vigilance. Whenever one or more creatures attack you, those creatures get -1/-0 until end of turn. Exhaust for 5 blue. You put 3 counters on this creature. So, it's really funny. We can play this and Boarded Window to make it so that everything attacking us gets -2/-0, which basically says, hey, token decks, don't look at me ever. Which is very funny. We got another Duretti. We got a foil Thunderhead Gunner and a Windscarred Craig. Hi, Craig. How's it feel to be Windscarred?
Oh, it's not that great, Luce. It's not that great.
I know, Craig. I'm sorry. Trip Up. Gilded Gonda. Collision Course. Mutant Surveyor. Beast Rider Vanguard. Skybox Fairy. Starting Column. Push the Limit. 5 red for a sorcery. Return all mount and vehicle cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, then sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Vehicles you control become artifact creatures until end of turn, and creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. That's probably pretty good. If we were playing, a lot of mounts and vehicles. But I don't think we are, honestly. Ooze Patrol. Alacrian Armory. 3 and a white for an artifact. Creatures you control get +0/+1 and have vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target mount or vehicle you control. Until end of turn, that permanent becomes saddled if it's a mount and becomes an artifact creature if it's a vehicle. Having played with Chandra last night, that second ability that she also has is just solid. Like, you would play this card for that second ability. The fact that it gives vigilance is also just very solid. Like, that's probably a solid pickup, I would think. I'm gonna have to play the limited environment a little bit to feel things out, but I don't know, that seems really good. Trade the Helm. 4 and a blue for a sorcery. Exchange control of target artifact or creature you control, and target artifact or creature an opponent controls. Cycles for 2. This looks like a winning vehicle, but you lot ain't a winning team. They just steal the car. The Last Ride. 1 black for a mythic artifact vehicle. Gets -X/-X, where X is my life total. 2 and a black to pay 2 life and draw a card. It's probably pretty good. It's a foil Momentum Breaker and a foil Island. All right, the packs are starting to get in the way. All right. Light Shield Parry, Hull Drifter, Burner Rocket, Broadcast Rambler, Wreckage Wickerfolk, Run Over, Stall Out, Terrian World Tyrant, 2 green for a 9/7 Dinosaur Ooze. The Fang Druids call it the World Tyrant, for it has consumed entire ecosystems that it keeps suspended in its core. To look upon it is to see the world as it was eons ago. Probably good. Ancient Vendetta again. Roadside Assistance. Broadside Barrage, 1 blue, red for an instant, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, draw a card, then discard a card. Aggressively solid. Another Samut. Pothole Mole, and a Plains. We've got 4 packs left. Let me try to extract them from this pile so it doesn't fall on top of me. All right, let's see here. End Rider Catalyzer, Spot Cycle Scouter, Midnight Mangler, Crash and Burn, Spin Out, Venom Sack Lagak, Interface Ace, Carrion Cruiser, End Rider Spike Spitter, Nesting Bot, Reef Roads, Gonti Midnight Minister, 2 black for a 3/4 Aetherburn Rogue. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, that player creates a treasure token. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library and exiles it face down. They may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Mana of any type may be spent to cast that spell this way. Well, I think we are probably playing Mimeoplasm. I think having a couple solid black cards kind of seals the deal. Foil Hole Drifter and a Blossoming Sands. Thunderhead Gunner, Daring Mechanic, Keen Buccaneer, Grim Javelineer, Loxodon Surveyor, we've got that one before, Ticket Tortoise, Avishkar Raceway, Reckless Velocitor, Veteran Beast Rider, 1 green-white for a 3/4 Human Knight at the beginning of your instep. Untap each creature you control. 2 green-white, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This is just very solid. Untap all the things all the time. Roadside Blowout, 2 blue for a sorcery. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a permanent with a mana value of 1. Return target creature or vehicle an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Draws a card. It's a good bounce spell. It's fine. Drawing a card is what makes it worth it. River Churn Monument, 1 blue, 1 in tap. Any number of target players each mill 2 cards. Then Exhaust for 2 blue. Tap. Any number of target players each mill cards equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Yep, that's probably what we're doing for the Mimeoplasm. Being able to mill ourselves is very good. Waxen Shape Sheep. What was that? Waxen Shape Thief. 3 blue for a shapeshifter with flash. 0/0. You may have it enter as a copy of an artifact or creature you control. Cycles for 2. It being you control is kind of meh, but being able to cycle probably makes up for it. Reckless Velocitor. And an island. 2 packs left, and then we have the Finish Line pack. The box topper. Goblin Surveyor. Bride's End, Trip Up, Grim Bobble, Veloso Heart Bike, Skybox Fairy, Camera Launcher, Defend the Rider, Calyx Scion, Hunger Tyrant, 1 black for a 7/2 Crocodile, Galadax Scars, full of craters which are home to terrifying predators of immense size and savagery. Yet even among such company, Calyx Scion and her insatiable hunger eclipses them all. She hungry. Voyage Home once again. Guidelight Synergist, 3 white for a 0/4 Robot Artificer with flying, and it gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. Very good card. If we were playing white and artifacts. Burnout Bastronaut. Love this card and the name. 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Warrior with Menace. Start your engines. Pay 2 and gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And at max speed, it's got Double Strike. Wreckage Wicker Folk. And an island. Last pack. And then we get to the big stuff. The one big thing. And then we go to Deck Building. Hull Drifter again. Gastral Blockbuster. Howler's Heavy. Riptide Wrangler. Broken Wings. Ticket Tortoise. Starting Column. Momentum Breaker. Fuel the Flames. Guidelight Pathfinder. Aether Siphon. Debris. It's the Debreedle. 2 black-green for a 6/6 vehicle. Whenever it enters, each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life, and it crews for 2. Very good card. Very big. Glory Heath Lynx. And a forest. And now, finally, the box topper. This could be a legendary. It can be a special guest. It could be almost anything in the set, honestly. All right. We've got a Plains and Valor's Flagship. It's a mythic and it's golden, but no, come back. I don't think we'll be playing white. Okay. So let me get all of this cleaned up, and I'll be back here for deck building in a bit. So let's do here while I clean stuff up. Okay. It's gotta be Mimeoplasm, right? Like, I can't think of a better option than Mimeoplasm. Like, we got the Debreedle. We got a lot of cool stuff. We have spider spawning from Innistrad Remastered. Like, I don't know. We have the Hermit Druid, which it really wants. But Sabut is kind of insane, and we have a lot of Start Your Engine stuff in those colors. Like, I don't know, honestly. All right, first off, let's get a sleeve for the Valor's Flagship real quick. Let's go opening cards. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna put this in a sleeve so I don't forget. Put it about here. We'll put that in the pile of cards like that. Let's see here. I'm not sure, y'all. Like, I mean, I think I am sure. I think based on what I got, like, let's be real for a second. These legendaries from the set probably aren't making it into the like, we're probably not putting it in the legendary pile. Oh, whoops. It goes here. It goes here. This goes there. And the green one's already in there because I figured it out by then. So it's definitely, we've got Samut, we've got Mimeoplasm. And like, the bonus for playing like Samut is we get to play stuff like Valor's Flagship. We have Aetherdrift, which is really nice, but like, regardless, we get to play Pathbreaker Ibex, which is just solid. We get to play the Gear Hulk if we play Mimeoplasm, Curse Cloth Wrappings if we play Mimeoplasm, Demonic Junker if we play Mimeoplasm. We could play Bloodghast and Webstrike Elite, but I don't know if we will. I'm actually looking through the rares that we have, and there's not that many, like, Count on Luck in the Valor's Flagship, really, but, like, Boom Pile, kinda, but, like, other than that, like, there's not a lot of cards that, like, leap out to me that we can only play in Samut. Like, we got the Coalstoke Gear Hulk, which is really nice, but, like, we can't use that to its max efficiency because we have to play Black-Red, and, like, let's be real, we're not playing Black-Red, we're playing one of these. Let's take a look at what we have from Innistrad Remastered here in terms of rares. Because, like, honestly, the rares are what we were trying to, like, fit the most into the deck, as long as they fit. Marine Deluge, Thing in the Ice. We already had a second Harvest. This does let us play the Spider Spawning and a Vile Spawn Spider. I thought Samut would let us have more. Reforge the Soul is interesting. Zealous Conscripts is nice. Olivia, we still can't play. Let's just play Memory Deluge. That's really solid. We still can't play Tameo. Honestly, our rares from Innistrad Remastered, we don't get to play a lot of from here. Like, the Falconwrath Gorger's fine, and Through the Breach is fine, but, like, it's not great. Reforged the Soul is a really good reason to play Summit. Same with, like, Archangel Abyssin. We probably don't play... Yeah, we don't play... Yeah, we're probably not playing Sorin and Mimeoplasm. We don't have the vampires to make him work super well. Did I miss any here? Gisa and Geralf. But honestly, we probably don't play that many of the zombie stuff here, honestly. Gravecrawler, Tradition. Westvale Abbey is a really good pickup. Same with Innistrad. Yeah, I think we have to kind of play, yeah, we kind of have to play Mimeoplasm. Our blue and black stuff from Innistrad Remastered was just way too good. Like, what are we missing from the Torrens deck? Like, what are we pulling out of there? Predominantly, Audric is one that comes to mind immediately, and he's kind of really good. But, like, other than that, we've got Restoration Angels, a solid one that we would be missing out on. We get to play Traverse Theuvenwald still. Mentor of the Meek is a miss. Wedding Announcement's really good. Audric, obviously, is really solid. Bruna's fine. Honestly, Subjugator Angel did a lot of work. A lot more work than I thought it was going to. Being able... we have Decimator... yeah, Decimator of Provinces we definitely never want to give up. Thalia's solid. A Natural Growth we still get to keep. Tireless Tracker we still get to keep. Voice of the Blessed... it was kind of in there on necessity reasons. Yeah, we missed out on Valorant Stance and Vanquish the Horde is a really big one that we missed out on. But, yeah, I'll be real, I think it's just Mimeoplasm, y'all. Like, I can't think of something better than Mimeoplasm. So, let's unassemble Torrens and get to work. Alright. We will definitely have somewhat in the back of our heads, though, because, like, being able to give an entire, like, it's really good for an entire board, and giving non-creatures X less to cast, very solid. But I just think, like, pulling the last engine and having a spider spawning and the Hermit Druid, just, like, I think we have too much for a really good self-mill deck. Mimeoplasm becomes a copy, right? Becomes a copy of target creature card. Yeah, so we can exile the Pathbreaker Ibex. And like if it's 5 mana for like a 6/6. That's kind of crazy, actually. In case you were wondering, I'm taking apart the entire deck just because, like, I'm trying to, like, we're trying to get, like, I want to make sure that I start from the beginning. We do have to add a whole another color, so that's going to be a little bit rough in terms of, like, figuring out the numbers of lands and stuff, so we also need to see how much ramp we have now. I don't know, Pack Guardian probably gets cut. Like, a lot of stuff ends up getting cut. Grapple the Past is not one of those. You'll definitely be keeping Grapple with the Past. Yeah. I was not expecting to open the Mimeoplasm. Every single... It's weird, because, like, every single time we've, done one of these openings for a set that has like 3 or 5 color legendaries, we always miss out on that like multiple color legendary. But this time we didn't, and we didn't twice. We hit 2 of them. Not only that, we hit the mythic one. Niv Mizzet was a rare in Markov Manor, and we didn't hit him. Karlov Manor, not Markov, but... I don't know if Second Harvest makes the cut, because I don't know if we make that many tokens actually anymore. I don't think we do, actually. Which is kind of weird to say. XD indeed. All right, so we've got these all done. Let's take these out. What do we have for ramp now? I think we can start, depending, we'll have to look through, but we'll have to see in terms of like, I think we can start to kinda lower our standards of what, I mean, heighten our standards of what is ramp. And I say that, but I could be entirely wrong. Let's see here. I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's all the cards. I will sort those out later, but for now, we just have the sleeves, and we are ready to put things in. All right, let's go. Let's go gambling. First off, we definitely want to have the ramp stuff that we had. We had Grapple with the Past as like technically one. Wildfield Scarecrow was technically part of it. Traveler's Amulet was part of it. Sunbrawled Sage was good. Sworn Villager, Traverse the Evenwald, Cripple the Fragment. I think I said Hermit Druid was technically part of it. Yeah, this seems familiar. We can actually start being a little bit more picky with what we've got here. We're definitely putting in the Vishkar Raceway, the Reef Roads, starting column we already got there, Foul Roads, Thornwood Falls, Amonkhet Raceway, Muragonda Raceway, Night Market, Wild Roads. Oh no, did we not get all of the dual lands? I don't think we did. Let's see. We got blue-black, blue-green. We're missing black-green, I think. Did we miss out on black-green? Like, that's not inconceivable, but it would be a bit of a bummer. Yep, looks like we missed out on black-green. Unfortunate. Did I put it in the basics pile on accident? No, does not look like it. Oofus doofus. Yeah, it's probably just fine. Like, it's not like a huge deal that we missed out on that one, especially because we picked up like Wild Roads, Foul Roads, Reef Roads, and all the raceways. But that is a bit of a bummer. Put these off to the side real quick. Let's Where is the Evolving Wilds that we had? No use digging and pulling another one out if we can just get it from here. Boop. Alright, we've got starting column. We've got Hermit Druid, Crypto Fragment, Traverse the Evenwald, Scorn Villager, Somber Wild Sage. Grapple with the Past, technically. But I think we've got some more stuff in here. The Veloheart Ride is just strictly ramp. Let's us do that. Don't know if anything else here just adds mana. Oh wait, yes there is. We have the Mold Tinder. We got one. Mold Tinder is actually a huge pickup, unironically. And I don't think any of this adds mana up here. Don't think anything we picked up here adds mana. No, it's all like enabling stuff. Don't think any of y'all add mana. No. We are definitely putting Ovaya in there. Don't let me forget to put her in there. Anything here does it? Let's see. Oh, this is ramp. Enters territory. Nope. We definitely want to make sure to put that in there because it looks sick as heck. Same with this one. Let's see. That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sources of ramp. Okay, good. Like that. And these are less, for lack of a better word, sketchy than the other stuff was. So I think we are fine on ramp effects. We can cut the bad stuff. I like being able to cut bad cards. Okay, next we want removal. And I think we have missed out on like some really solid removal spells. Because we were playing green-white, we didn't have a lot of solid removal because a lot of our removal was in black because it was Innistrad. But now we get to play stuff like... First off, we get the Old Border stuff because Old Border is fancy and schmancy. These are all red, whereas all of our other cards. Black. Black cards. We get to play with black cards. Oh, and we get to play with the one, the only Laboratory Maniac now. Because there is a universe where we just run out of all of our cards. We could definitely play this Prison in the Moon. I don't know if we play Blood Artist because we're not really making a lot of tokens, but I'll pull it out just in case we need it. I don't know if we play Sever the Bloodline. It's a little bit too expensive for what we're looking at. Well, Old Border Tragic Slip always goes hard. And we have other options for drawing cards and such. Like Covetous Castaway is really solid, I think. Whenever enters, you may... Yep. Deals 3 cards. Aberrant Researcher, probably not that great. Summary Dismissal's good, same as Cackling Counterpart. Soul Cipher Board. Being able to put things... A deranged assistant, very good for what we're trying to do here. I think that's where we'll leave it off. I will... off to the side. Let's take a look through these multicolored cards here. I don't know if we're going to play Distended Mindbender. It's a little expensive. Deadeye Navigator, Jace, Hullbreaker Horror, Elder Deep Fiend. Very, very, very good cards. Dranu Corpse is a little bit meh. That's a bunch of red cards that we can't play. Still can't play Tameo, Womp Womp. I don't think any of these other colorless cards are worth it, really. Young Wolf looks nice, but I don't think we can play it. Like, there's not really a lot of good reason to. Eccentric Farmer we can probably play, just for the milling effect. Morbid Opportunist is a solid card. Forbidden Alchemy is really good for what we're trying to do here, because it put the rest into the graveyard. Yep. Infernal Grasp, good. Westfell Abbey, solid. Probably not Heartless Summoning. I don't think this is going to be the deck for it, but always Invasion of Innistrad, very good card. They made it a rare back then, I think. Yeah, they made it a rare in Innistrad Remastered, which is wild, because this was a mythic in Mom. Okay, removal spells. Infernal Grasp. Tragic Slip, Imprisoned in the Moon. The Thundering Broodwagon is a removal spell. We're probably going to be playing a lot more single target removal, just by the nature of we don't have any Wrath effects, honestly. And that is not good, but, you know, we do what we... You do what you gotta. Yep, there's not that many ways to wipe the board. Which sucks, but that's what we gotta deal with. In Progmander. Sometimes you just need to suck it up, nerd. And play the bad cards. Let's pull out this Decimator of the Provinces before I forget to put it into the deck. Let's just put these red and white cards off to the side so I don't accidentally put them in the deck. Spin out, just an unambiguous removal. I don't think we want Hellish Spite. This card's probably fine. Back on track, puts a card back vehicle or creature onto the battlefield. I think we put in the Broken Wings, probably. Like, I think we'll need to look closer, but being able to just choose any of that. Also, we have this Point the Way instead of... I kind of don't want to count this grapple with the... Like, I don't think I want to count Hermit Druid as ramp. I want to count it as part of our, like, package of, like, milling ourselves. Let's see here. Do we count Trade the Helm as removal? because it kind of is. We give one of our poo-poo things, and we give them something that's... Like, we give them something bad, we take their best thing. Spectral Interference is a counterspell. We probably just take that. Just to have. I don't think I want to play a bounce spell. Definitely not. I don't think we want to play Spell Pierce right now either. Broken Wings. Am I missing a better removal spell somewhere? I don't think there's anything here, right? Oh, yep. Well, Web Strike is not... Oh, well, Demonic Junker. Yep, that's a removal spell. 3, 6, 9. Let's have one more thing that removes things. And then we start adding card draw, and then we start going the heck off with fun stuff. Haunt the Network draws cards. Create 2, then... I don't think we're going to have that many artifacts, honestly. 3, 6, 9... I don't know what else we have in terms of solid removal. Like, I don't want to have to start running, like, some mid-tier removal if we have access to other stuff, but I think we're going to have to take a look at some of the worst removal stuff. We got Imprisoned in the Moon, we got some Broken Wings. Let's see here. Did I pull out anything on here on accident? It's a good removal spell? No, it's not. Did I pull out Summary Dismissal over here? Oh, wait. Hold on. Innistrad. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, everything else here is not quite removal. I don't want to count it as that. So we have that. Fantastic. Before we go any further, I do want to check out the land situation that we have here. 3, 6, 9, 10. And then 10 here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I don't think there was any dual lands here. So we definitely want... I think we can afford to go to... I want to say 37, but I want to try 36, just because we have a lot more ramp now. And we still have the Hermit Druid, technically, so... No, I think I'm going to go for 36, just because I think we want to try to reduce the odds of the Hermit Druid hitting bad stuff. And by bad stuff, I mean not like basic lands and stuff. Let's see, 2, 3. Boop, boop. As always, I want to try to get as many of the lands that we already have access to prioritize those. If it is 26, we divide that by 3. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 8, 24, and then we go 1 into green and 1 into black, probably? Yeah. I think we're not splashing blue, but we are... Blue is probably going to end up being less prevalent. 3, 2, boop, 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 boop. And we go here. I'm gonna pull out some of the old border forests that we had access to. Because we are trying to cut out the non-colors that we... basically stuff that we haven't opened up this year. Because I think it's cool to only use the stuff that we've opened. Basics are an exception because you need those to play the game, but you know. Let's see, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have the pile of basics from the Innistrad Remastered Opening. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what we got here so far with that number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could probably cut one of these is lands for a 4 East. And now let's try to replace all these boring basic lands with old border ones. I think we're out of the old border forests, so let's go here. 4 swamps and 2 islands. 2 islands, 4 swamps. Fantastic. That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36, 37, 38. Oop, never mind. We are cutting you could probably cut a forest. No, we can cut I can cut an island, I think. No, I think it's the forest. No, we need those. We need the forest. We can cut I think it's a swamp that I need to cut for the Westvale Abbey. Boop. 1, 2. And where is the 3? And we're always playing the Path for Guyback, so that's 4. Okay. So we have 40 cards. I think I do want to put in 4 draw spells. Like, we want to play the draw spells that we have access to. So like this Memory Deluge, Forbidden Alchemy, Morbid Opportunist, Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's I mean, Unraveler of Secrets. That's definitely not Jace the Mind Sculptor. Last Right is draw. Marketback Walker's draw. I think this Risky Shortcut is draw and is just kind of solid on its own. Aether Siphon is also draw. It's a bit expensive, but like, hey, if it gets there, it gets there. I don't know if Hole Drifter is good enough that we count it as draw. I think we do, because we can tutor it up eventually. And let's put in stock up. I think stock up's good. 3, 6, 9, 10. All right. So now we have 30 slots of just whatever we want to put in. And it's predominantly going to be mill effects and the like. So I definitely want to put Slick Imitator in just because he's fun and I want to play fun cards. We definitely put in the Curse Cloth Wrappings, I think, because being able to reanimate certain things is going to be good. River Turn Monument's good. Thought Prefabricator, because we're going to end up drawing cards. Ovaya is good. Gonti's good. We're basically just putting in good cards at this point. Sita's good. Akchik is good. 3, 6, 9. Broodcraft Engine's good. Yeah, I don't think we want to put anything else from that in there. Covetous Castaway for some ramp. Decimator of Provinces. Eccentric Farmer. Mills. Fabric Horror's good. I don't know. I'll have to look at our ETBs for Deadeye Navigator. Deranged Alchemist, we can probably actually cut... we could probably cut Point the Way for the Deranged Alchemist, since it is ramp, since it is just straight up just adding colorless mana. Elder Deep Fiend is a good card. Let's look at putting in more mill effects, like this Spider Spawning and this Vile Spawn Spider. This mills 3 cards, return a land card from the graveyard. Mill 2 cards. We definitely want... Rise from the Wreck is also a draw spell, probably? No, because I don't think we're going to end up putting enough of the things that it cares about in there. Dredger's Insight is good. I don't know if we put in Earth Rumbler. Let's put that off to the side. I think we might, but there's a possibility that it's not that good. Transit Mage gets us our... It gets us a 4 or a 5. It gets us the Curse Cloth Wrappings or the Oil Deep Gear Hulk. And that probably alone is fine. But it also gets the Hull Drifter. It also gets us the... It doesn't get us the Brood Wagon. It's a little bit too expensive for that. It only gets us 2 cards at this point in time. That might just be good enough, though. The Debridal is a big boy, but I don't think it's something that we want to put in necessarily. We need a bit more self-mill, I think. So let's put in the... There was that that fellow that surveils 1 on tap. It's like the guy who's basically just a skull and is kind of the Wretched Doll. Ugh. A lot of folks in Dustborn are more scared of dying than what comes after. Oh, how wrong they are. Yep, it's not a good place to be. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 70. So we have 10 more cards that we can add. Definitely adding Web Strike Elite, just because it's good removal. Oh, let's make sure that we are not forgetting green cards from in here. I don't think we play Second Harvest because I don't think we're going to have that many tokens, honestly. Ghoul Tree is a lot better in this deck now. Tireless Tracker's good. Unnatural Growth's amazing. Splinter Fright mills us cards. Moldgraph Millipede mills cards. I don't think Lumbernaut's that good if we're not making tokens anymore. Let's see, this is 3, 6. 7. Deadeye Navigator will probably find a way to be useful. Like, I can't think of a single scenario where Deadeye Navigator is not going to be useful. We have another Defend the Rider just for protection purposes. Ooze Patrol is basically like a Moldgraph Millipede, but smaller. But not that much smaller. Copy your target creature card exotics. It's 0/0 and has this ability. So we kind of want stuff with cool activated abilities that Mimeoplasm can copy. I wonder how that works with Exhaust. Like, if we make it something and then make it something different with the Exhaust ability, does that mean we get something different? We definitely don't put Muyan Ling in. Do we put Winter in? 3, 6, 7, 8. He gives artifacts that... No, I don't think we want to be exiling stuff from the graveyard like that. 3, 6, 7, 8. We put in the... Maybe they're a Purposing Bay? Let's see what else we have over here. Maybe I missed something that mills from over here. Putting in Distended Mindbender is not a bad idea, I don't think. Just because it's a big boy that kind of just, like, sometimes ruins an opponent's game plan. Because they... Oh, they discard the cards. They don't exile them. Not exiling is a pretty rough ask, honestly. I don't think we're quite at Soul Separator times. Nor do I think we are desperate enough anymore to play the life gain effects. What else do we have that's good? Maybe the Soul Cipher board is just good enough. No, I think for doing that, I would probably rather just play... I think I'm good with just playing the Cackling Counterpart, because if we mill it, it gets big. Like, if we mill it, we can still play it. And I think we need to find a place for Earth Rumbler. No, not need, but, like... Earth Rumbler is very large and can be tutored off Transit Mage. I think I have to cut the Slick Imitator because getting max speed is going to be a little bit rough for us. Just because we don't have that many ways to start it. Alright, that is the deck. We have the Mimeoplasm. I will save that up, and we will try to get it on play. I will be guesting on a couple streams coming up, and I'll try to get this played and on stream. But that is all we've got. So thank you all so very much for watching. I do want to try to stream a little bit more. Just in the future. Not this weekend. I have stuff this weekend, and I have to carve out time out of my schedule. But I do want to start like doing different card games and stuff. So I think what I'll end up doing is Saturdays are going to be the de facto like Magic Day. I'll do like standard, draft, that sort of thing. But on Sundays I'll probably do. I want to start learning Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'll probably start with Master Duel and see where it goes from there. And y'all will know about that going forward. And I'll make announcements and make sure that y'all know what I'm streaming, when I'm streaming. I might also try to do multi-streaming more because I know some people prefer watching on Twitch over on YouTube. Over than on YouTube. But I'll figure that all out, and I will probably be making tons of community posts about it just because I like that as a tool to talk to you guys. But with all that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and until next time, au revoir.